Define the Russian equivalent of the English idiom tickled pink.
So I was tickled pink to discover that prestigious places like the Harvard Business Review now carry regularly articles which are attempting to say to managers, this is the way in which you should tell stories to your staff, because stories are seen as the way of, first of all, creating a shared image of what the organisation is about.
We won the YouTube Next Up 2016 competition.
Oh, that's right. We really won?
Yeah, I'm so chuffed.
Chuffed?
Yeah, I'm tickled pink.
Well, me too. I'm thrilled.
In late winter, agrology reached out and asked if there was a need for smoke taint analysis in the vineyard. So I was just tickled pink.
To be very pleased.
She was tickled pink to be given flowers.
My family loves my fiancé as much as I do, so they were just tickled pink to hear that we're getting married.
He was tickled pink when his old friend called him up to wish him on his birthday.
Идиома используется, чтобы выразить крайнюю радость или удовлетворение.
Define the Russian equivalent of the English idiom blow a fuse.
Brilliant. Eliza says she really likes the experiments. She had to blow a fuse once, which she said was very fun. So tell us then, James, about what sorts of experiments there are in the Open STEM labs. What sorts of things are lined up for students?
Mr. Electric, the power went out. I don't know what to do. There are people waiting for printing orders. My boss is going to blow a fuse.
It's okay, I'm here to help.
To blow a fuse means to become very angry. So you might blow a fuse if someone scratches your car. Here's another example from the Cambridge Learner's Dictionary.
When he told her how much it cost, she blew a fuse.
To get very angry.
The teacher nearly blew a fuse when the students refused to submit their assignments on time.
My boss tends to blow a fuse whenever there are mistakes in the final report.
My mum is going to blow a fuse when she sees this mess I've made in the kitchen.
Идиома используется для выражения очень сильного гнева.
Define the Russian equivalent of the English idiom eager beaver.
Axial is the most active submarine volcano in its vicinity. It's erupted 3 times in the last 25 years. And because it's such an eager beaver, scientists have set up with all sorts of instruments to help monitor its activity.
And frankly, we are missing out as a society if we keep those folks out of the bar after they've graduated law school, and in many cases been actually practicing law in other jurisdictions, but we keep them out because now they don't fit the mold of the young, eager beaver, 24-year-old 3L from Harvard or Stanford or Michigan.
An eager beaver is kind of a very hardworking, enthusiastic person. Maybe this person comes to work early and stays late, and they're always smiling and they're happy to do their work.
An enthusiastic person who works very hard.
My colleague is an eager beaver and is always ready to work hard when we need him.
Sally is a very industrious and enthusiastic person. She is a regular eager beaver.
When I first started working here, I was a very eager beaver. Now I only do what is expected of me.
Идиома используется для описания человека, который проявляет большой энтузиазм и энергию в работе.
Define the Russian equivalent of the English idiom have a blast.
And we just want to share the story, because the story of how Hello My Name Is came about is the most powerful asset of the campaign, and hearing my narrative is really important for people to change their behaviours. So really looking forward to it, and we're going to have a blast, I think.
Now on top of that, he's a really nice guy. We have a blast. I think he looks like Captain Kirk off the newer Star Trek movies, and he calls me Scotty, which I'm not so keen on, but hey ho. It's going to be a real blast, guys.
It is pouring rain here today, so I got a better idea. I'm actually gonna roll out from my place. We're gonna do some local trails, give my brand new Grievel a bit of a first introduction to some proper New England fall/winter riding, and I'm gonna take my dog with me. We're gonna have a blast.
To have a very fun or exciting time doing something.
So, how was the ski trip?
We had a blast.
I hope you have a blast on your date tonight, Mary.
I went skydiving for the first time yesterday. It was absolutely exhilarating. I had a blast.
Идиома означает очень весело или захватывающе провести время, занимаясь чем-то в определенной ситуации или событии, таком как, например, вечеринки, каникулы, где люди веселятся.
Define the Russian equivalent of the English idiom make waves.
As Mondeo started to tear up the competition, a certain Formula One champion was about to tear up his Mondeo on the Donington racetrack. Mondeo did make waves across the rest of the world when a team drove from London to New York.
Let's listen to food journalist Sheila Dillon as she explains the impact of coffee markets on local growers. She uses an expression that means has a big effect. Can you tell me what it is?
What happens in the coffee market makes waves around the globe.
He then went on to compound his insensitivity by delivering a big old slap in the face to everyone who works in the restaurant industry, bragging about a time he bullied a North Carolina restaurant into making an item not on the menu by threatening to come back into the kitchen. News of his comments made waves on blogs, social networks and forums where word spreads fast.
To be very active in a way that makes people notice you, and that may sometimes cause problems.
It's probably not a good idea to start making waves in your first week in a new job.
When I started the job, a friend told me not to make waves because the managers didn't like people to disagree with them.
Lady Gaga made waves when she first came out as an artist wearing a meat dress and other outlandish costumes.
Идиома означает баламутить воду, создавать неприятности, нарушать установившийся порядок или спокойствие. Часто употребляется в отрицательной форме.
Define the Russian equivalent of the English idiom create ripples.
If the flux is destroying the universe, if planets and stars are being wiped out, there will be displaced creatures who need a home, somewhere to take over. But that would mean a time of battle for ownership of the Earth. You need to find out where and when that will be. And events like the flux create ripples through time. It will have been foreseen somewhere by some smart people.
Yes, COVID-19 can create ripples outside of public health, but the right response to it can have societal ripples that go far beyond the virus.
And finally, random acts of kindness or conscious acts of kindness. We get people, when they open up their inbox, to write one positive email praising or thanking somebody in their social support network. And by doing these activities and by training your brain, just like we train our bodies, what we found is we can reverse the formula for happiness and success, and in doing so, not only create ripples of positivity, but create a real revolution.
To be noticed and have an impact.
The debate has barely made a ripple here.
The new company policy is expected to create ripples throughout the organization, impacting how teams collaborate and communicate.
Her bold fashion choices always make ripples at events, catching the attention of the media and the public.
Идиома используется для описания воздействия небольшого действия, которое имеет более масштабный эффект.
Define the Russian equivalent of the English idiom if it wasn't for.
When I was at school, I was that irritating high achiever. You know the one? Top of the class in practically everything. There doesn't seem to be a thing they can't do. You'd think they were a SWAT if it wasn't for the fact that they never seem to try very hard.
He, in a sense, is one of the first celebrity artists.
Duro would not have been able to do what he did to spread his reputation around Europe if it wasn't for the women in his life, his wife Agnes and his mother Barbara, who were key to how his business operated while he was at home, but also while he was away.
If it weren't for some of these myths, we'd have a much better understanding of how to deal with accidents and other unforeseen events.
Used to say that somebody something stops somebody something from happening. I could happily move back into an apartment if it wasn't for the fact that I'd miss my garden.
They would have missed their flight if it weren't for the taxi driver's knowledge of a shortcut.
We would not have been able to fund the program if it weren't for the grant.
Идиома используется для обозначения роли кого-либо или чего-либо в том, что этот человек или вещь являются причиной текущего положения дел, будь то положительного или отрицательного. Часто используется для обозначения единственной вещи, препятствующей достижению определенного результата.
Define the Russian equivalent of the English idiom rain cats and dogs.
Today I want to talk to you about an expression in English that your teacher definitely taught you.
Feels like it's gonna rain like dogs and cats later.
You've probably seen in your English textbooks.
It's raining dogs and cats. Do we normally say it like that? No, it should be cats and dogs. It's got it the wrong way around.
Maybe you saw it in movies or on TV.
It's raining cats and dogs.
Oh, it's raining cats and dogs. Just raining cats and dogs out there.
I said it's raining cats and dogs.
Yes, I heard you.
The next one is one you have probably heard before, because when I ask for examples of idioms from my students, they always say this one or it's raining cats and dogs, which is an idiom we don't use very frequently.
Lane wants to translate the phrase, it's raining cats and dogs, something that people sometimes say when it's raining heavily.
To be raining heavily.
What sort of day is it?
It's raining cats and dogs.
It's raining cats and dogs. I am worried about how my kids will reach home.
We want to have a barbecue this weekend, but it's been raining cats and dogs since Friday evening.
Идиома используется для описания проливного дождя.
Define the Russian equivalent of the English idiom go in for the kill.
Our nemesis is a Fokker DR-1 triplane. It was Germany's answer to the Sopwith. They took the British design and improved on it. It spotted us and decided to go in for the kill. Air-to-air combat decides who lives and who dies.
Yum. So that I would treat like a normal shepherd's pie. Gorgeous. Some lovely seasonal greens that you can just toss with a little bit of olive oil. So let's go in for the kill. Come on, let's get in there, into the heart and soul of this beautiful veggie shepherd's pie.
Oh, and it worked. Will it work twice on the trot? No.
Good one. And go.
Yellow socks now. Will he go in for the kill?
Did I not get you?
No. It wasn't, you touched him, but it wasn't a clean thrust.
To prepare to defeat someone in an argument or competition when that person is already in a weak position.
If someone finally shows interest in buying the house, I'm sure our realtor will go in for the kill.
Like a cat playing with a wounded mouse, he was in no great hurry to go in for the kill.
When the lions went in for the kill, the zebras began to stampede.
Идиома означает подготовиться к победе над кем-то в аргументе или конкуренции, когда этот кто-то уже находится в сложном положении. Выражение используется в различных контекстах в повседневной жизни. Чаще всего встречается в спорте и деловом мире.
Define the Russian equivalent of the English idiom fall from grace.
This is an incredible fall from grace for Lex Greensill, a man who is celebrated as a financial visionary.
What this story will ultimately be remembered for is the way that Lex Greensill was able to persuade people that some pretty mundane factoring business was some incredible high-tech solution.
Entertainer Ant McPartlin endured a fall from grace this week when he crashed his car in southwest London. He was arrested and subsequently charged with drink driving.
It doesn't look good to have people swanning around in extreme wealth at the same time when you're trying to reassure the middle class that you're looking after their interests. It is a monumental fall from grace.
To lose the trust or respect that people have for you, especially by doing something bad or morally wrong.
So many athletes fell from grace after testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs.
The angel's fall from grace led him to live a mortal life on earth.
The finance minister's fall from grace gave his enemies great satisfaction.
Идиома часто используется для описания ситуации, когда кто-то столкнулся с ухудшением своей репутации или статуса из-за того, что он сделал что-то не так, теряя при этом благосклонность или уважение окружающих. Может использоваться в религиозном контексте для описания ситуации, когда человек согрешил или пошел против учений своей веры.